Sasha and I'm a young STEM leader.
My name's Sam and I'm a young STEM leader.
Hi, my name is Tammy and I'm a young STEM leader.
Hi, my name is Araz and I'm a STEM ambassador.
Hi Araz, what is your role as a STEM ambassador and how do you get involved with young people?
What is my role as a STEM ambassador, and what we usually do is, as part of AFPE organizations, we go to schools and we take some models with ourselves. Like we have a team, like we have like 4 or 5 team members. We usually go there, we take different models from different engineering disciplines like oil and gas, renewables, and we showcase them in an exhibition to kids, to school pupils. So personally myself, I take a Lego model, so it's a robot. So my thought about it is to introducing robotics and coding to school pupils, as we are going to have like a very like vast majority of our next jobs and in technology in future would be dependent on computer science and all those related topics. So yeah, we can use them like in autonomous cars or different kind of disciplines. So that's what I do when we go to the schools.
Did you get any STEM opportunities, activities or competitions in school when you were younger?
Well, not the way that we do it now, like the way that we go to schools now, like spending their time and taking models into the schools. We used to have labs, I think, like the chemistry lab, physics lab. I think you should have it in your schools as well, right? So like, yeah, and when we used to have those lessons in the laboratories, I used to enjoy our chemistry lab the most because of the things that like so if you see, like the science can be a little bit abstract sometimes, right? So when you go to the lab and when you see it in person, like for example, you learn about the chemistry reactions, but then you see what it really looks like when this reaction happens and you see the product and outcome. So that was really exciting for me in that time. So yeah, I think that was the thing that I can remember and I can mention from my time at school.
And what opportunities would you like to see young people in school have now?
Well, the thing that I'm just thinking about, like when we go to the schools, I really think about that I would like to see that the schools like yourselves, like bright pupils, that have a small group of people, you know, like they just gather together like 2 or 3, because like, you know, that like doing experiments is more fun when you do it together, right? So like building a small societies, small groups, and say like, hey, let's do this kind of like experiment. Like let's just ask permission from our tutors or someone who is in charge of the lab to give us the permission to work on this in our weekend or maybe some extra time, and to experiment this and to see what will happen. So I think if it can be organized somehow, like you have, for example, a department of chemistry lab, something like that, or maybe it's very small like groups, just do it in your time, or anyway, like how you do it, like it's not important, but when you do it, like I think it really helps you to have a brighter perspective about what you really want to do in future. So yeah, I think that's the thing that I want for the next generation.
And what is your favorite aspect of STEM and your current job?
Well, what's my favorite aspect of a STEM in my current job is my current job has a very close connection to what is now very popular outside about the climate change and environment. So as you may know, like I'm working as a process engineer now. So I work in a refinery, which where I can see that how like this like CO2 can be just separated and what we can do with it, or some or how we can treat oil and gas that and what we will do with all those pollution that we can mitigate, you know, like the designing and just mitigating all those like pollution which can happen. So that's really interesting for me, like about my current job, which I am very close to environment and I can have impact. So yeah, that's it, I think.
What inspired you to choose your choice of career?
Yeah, I feel like as I mentioned, like in the previous question as well, like because like was really curious about this industry, right? Like I'm a very environmentalist person myself, you know, like when I was at school, like my main major from my bachelor was petroleum engineering. So I really wanted to see what's happening there. Is there really like, are they really polluting the air? Is there, can we just shift to renewables? Why we are not doing that? You know, like are we really that dependent to oil and gas, or what's happening? Or if we are, how can I help? How can I do something, or can I increase the standard somewhere that I can help that to improve the quality of the work out there? Or is it going to be like can I do it more clean? So I think that was my choice, and I pursued it. I'm happy about that actually now.
So was there anyone in particular that motivated you into this STEM career path?
Well, I'm from a culture family, so my background, my parents, they're like mostly artists, like my dad, or in history, or my mom has studied like sociology. But like myself, I'm very inspired by astronauts. Yeah, well, like when I see them, like I see that these people, like they just study so hard for so many years, and they they just sacrifice everything, just leave everything behind, and tolerate a great risk to go out there, you know, and experiment um, some experiments that we cannot have them on Earth. So we cannot have them like they use that environment, that zero microgravity out there, to do some experiments that we cannot have here. So it's really valuable for me, I think, and that inspired me to go further in science and technology and to see what happens. Like I can mention that.
What do you think about the gender gap in STEM? How could it be improved, in your opinion?
Well, what do I think about gender gap in STEM is like it's getting really better. Like it wasn't very like equal like before when I was in school. But like a few months ago, I was offshore working on a platform in the middle of the North Sea. So I could see that our radio op, it was a lady, like literally she was in charge of the whole oil platform. So she had the radar, like she was just kind of controlling all the helicopters. She was just in touch with everyone on the platform. So we had like operators, like girls, which were like opening and closing all the valves on the platform. So that was amazing actually. Like I think in that crew from like 120, like it was like almost like like a compatible of girls on the platform. So it's getting really better, and I think like what we hope to achieve is like with our sessions as a STEM ambassador when we go to schools is introducing and increasing the awareness that this STEM activities is for everyone, so everyone can follow it, follow their dreams. But I think they don't really, mostly girls, know what it looks like. Like what's happening. If they know what it looks like and how they can do, maybe they really become interested in it and they follow it as their dream job.
I'm just going to butt in there. Sorry, that's really interesting, Araz. Do you think we need to have more visibility of women in STEM and the types of jobs that women in STEM are doing now to inspire the next generation?
Yeah, of course, because like so yes, I saw all it mentioned like before about the platform myself with my own eyes, but like you cannot see it on outside on social media or anywhere else. Like I think we really need to work on it. To work on increasing the awareness about this to say that there are already like girls out there doing very, very like challenging jobs and they're really effective and and they can become an idol actually for others to follow. In AFPE we have models which they are like in forefront of engineering, like Dr. Nick Folayan, like she has like the Queen's Award for engineering, and yeah, we, I don't know how we can do it, but it's good to think about it and come up with an idea to increase this awareness about this area, that girls can do much better and more in this topic.
As an individual from an ethnic minority, do you ever experience setbacks in your place of work?
Well, yeah, like yeah, man, ethnic minority, and like it was a bit challenging for me to get my first job. Like it took a bit time. I had to just increase my knowledge about different things, and I can understand. Like when you come from a different country, like you have there can be some language barrier in between. So definitely English is not my first language, so it's my like in whole my life I've just spoken English for 3.5 years only. So and also like the residents, like when you leave somewhere, like when I came here, maybe they didn't know if I'm going to stay here or not, if I want to just go back like in the middle of my in the middle of the work or something like that. It was a bit challenging, but I can see now in my own company that the diversity is growing so much. Like in my own team, it's me. I have colleagues from India, I have colleagues from Russia, and so in our own team, like we are like 6 or 7 people. Like we are from 4 or 5 different nationalities. So there's a great hope in that, and let's see what will happen in future.
In your job, do you work on different areas, or do you only have one key focus?
Well, yeah, in my own job, like I was lucky about this a lot, because like it's a gas refinery, right? It's huge. So we can just work on different aspects of the work. So we are now working on redeveloping this asset. So it's like almost 35 years old, it producing gas for our homes. So it's getting really, really old. So all the valves, all the pipelines, it needs to be changed. And sometimes we need to do some calculations to see what kind of valve we need to put there, or after we do that, we go some other part of the the building or the structure to see what's happening there. Sometimes we need to take care of the production to see how we can just separate more like gas or something like that. Each time we have like different tasks to do, and it's really important. I think like you never get bored.
How has COVID-19 restrictions affected your day-to-day life as an engineer?
Well, how COVID-19 affected our daily life is like, I can't say it didn't affect it actually that much because because of the technology itself, right? Because of the teams, we use Teams as our work. Like our meetings are like this. Like we have huge meetings actually on Teams. Like we had a meeting like almost like 21 people in the meeting. So and when we want to discuss about something, we can easily share our like screen, and we share the screen, and we put the PNIDs. It's a map of the pipelines and all the gauges, and we go through it together. Sometimes we can share. I can have access, for example, to your computer over there, and I can show you around of the drawing. So technology has helped a lot. Like it's now more than 8 months that we are working from home. So the productivity is good. But of course, human interaction is a necessary thing at work. Like teamwork is the main thing that you can achieve in a company or in your job. So because of that, I hope really all these pass soon and we can go back to the office and see our colleagues.
What are some of the problems you have faced in your career, and how did you overcome them?
Well, yeah, like what were the problems that I faced was like, and it was about like, sometimes you come up with some problems that you really need to discuss about it with someone. So it's mostly teamwork, as I mentioned. So and I didn't have some people around, but how I overcame it was by asking. You know, like sometimes asking questions can be hard for us, but we need to understand that people are really willing to help. If we have doubt about anything, or if we don't know anything, it's better to ask. So I really did that. I started to ask very simple questions, and I was lucky to have so many good mentors who were really happy to help me in every aspect that I had questions. So that was how I overcame it.
Is the stigma of good engineering jobs having bad pay true?
Well, that's a very tricky question. Actually, I've had some kind of research online like a few days ago to see about this and to see what are the pays for the engineering jobs, you know, and I saw that like I've seen that like there is an average salary in the engineer website. It's called the engineers. So and I've just compared it to what's happening, and I've read what was written there. So I come up with that it's quite fair, the amount that they say on the website. So it's not going to be like that kind of a stigma around it. So the average salary that they say usually for engineering is almost the same as how it's on the website. But the difference is when you graduate as a graduate engineer, you may end up to work in some other project or other industries. You know, like so you like graduate as a chemical engineer, for example, instead of working in a in an oil and gas, or you may go and work in some other industries. So yeah, it definitely brings a little bit like the average of the salary a bit lower, but like they're not different. But also the thing is the economy situation has impact as well. Like if you see, like now we are in the COVID once in a lifetime crisis, right? So like and in a century, like I can't say lifetime, but like at least in a century we have once. And so it really happens low. So like the salaries comes down, the jobs comes down, but like at the peak you may have this experience that after you graduate at a specific engineering topic and you follow your dream and you push really hard and you really follow it, just never give up, you know, like if you go and get this, and then you will be fine. You can just get a good salary, and it will have some place to grow to senior engineer, and then you can be a director. And also it can be your professionally, you know, like you can have your business or any other thing alongside as well.
So what advice would you give to a student who wanted to pursue a STEM career or a career in engineering?
All right, well, so what are my advice for those who want to go through the STEM careers? So first of all, I want them to know exactly what is a STEM, you know, what is engineering. So engineering is like what is when we know science first. And what is science? When we know what's happening in the nature, right? The science is all comes from nature, what's happening around us, what's gravity, what's like what happens when we cook our eggs or something like that. And all this science, we can use them and make things. We can build them and connect them with mathematics, and we can engineer some ways to solve the problems. And what we can do with that, first, we can help all those in need. You know, we can help some people that who really need something, like to walk, or maybe by producing like gas or making it clean, we can help people to have warmth in their homes. And also we can make life easier for humankind, you know, like we are constantly in challenge with the nature. So by engineering, we are just making life easier. And at the end, the ultimate goal can be preserve our resources, right? The planet Earth is just it's something that we have, and it's not infinite. All its resources. We need to find solutions to preserve them, and to move towards sustainability, right? I want all those who want to go through a STEM career to keep motivated and go forward, push, and love the way they do it, you know, and love the way they do, and to increase the standards of our life, but more cleaner.
On behalf of St Andrews Young STEM Leaders, we would like to thank you for taking part in this interview.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.